every day. And
6 of the special edition balls. They went through 50 steps of production. We'll show you the 50 steps at hurry-up speed here. You know, sometimes when you hurry up occasionally, just occasionally, there's a mistake. Like I said, an occasional mistake. I guess you never know in this business when someone's going to need a job. But of course, we do know whose signature will be on the footballs here this afternoon. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, thanks for joining us. And the first question I think that really has been on everybody's mind is talk to us about the pressures that you felt and the situation about perhaps canceling this Super Bowl game.
Well, I think the pressures that I felt are the same that we all feel as Americans. We know what our priorities are. Our priorities are peace and freedom, and we know what the armed forces are doing for us all in the Mideast. So we've kept that in perspective, and I think in that way we know what's going on this week.
Commissioner, you'll be glad to know that all the troops over in the desert are watching us right now, and of course all of us want to send along nothing but the best, and great support is being shown. Both teams will have the helmets on the back. But when you put away the NFL ball with Paul Tagliabue's signature on it today, football is not going to go away until next fall. In fact, there's a brand new league debuting, a couple of continents involved. There you can see Frankfurt, London, Barcelona, Montreal in Canada, and of course they'll be joining teams in the United States. And a World League will premiere here March 24th with the New York Knights taking on Barcelona. And as Dick Vermeil joins us now, Commissioner, I want to ask, what is the relationship between the NFL and the new World League?
Well, 26 of our teams own the World League. And so it's backed by the National Football League owners and backed by the tradition, history, and the skill of the National Football League. And we're very, very excited about the World League of American Football.
Now, will some of the experiments be tried there before perhaps you incorporate them in the NFL? Is that the idea?
Well, I don't think it's that formal, frankly. I think they'll be experimenting with exciting things, and we'll be experimenting with exciting things like we did this year and shortening our games a bit, and we'll all work together for the betterment of pro football internationally.
One of the experiments you're holding, Dick, can you explain to us what that helmet is?
Well, this helmet may look like any other football helmet, but it's different. It is equipped with a receiver so the coach can talk to the quarterback. Then they say by midseason they're going to have a microphone in it so the quarterback can talk back. Now, I don't know how good an idea that is, but there are other fringe benefits, such as the coach being able to alert the quarterback he's about to be blindsided.
We get rid of in the grass ball.
Well, I don't know about in the grass, but Jim Kelly may get rid of the need for that helmet the way he's been playing with the no-huddle offense.
Very good. Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
Sun beginning to set here on Tampa Stadium, and we get ready for Super Bowl. Certainly understand if he found it hard to concentrate this week. His son, Rick Toma, is currently serving the 1st Armored Battalion in Saudi Arabia. He's a tank commander, and he sits poised on the Iraqi border. Now, the players of both these teams have relatives in the Gulf region, and like all Americans with relatives over there, it has been very difficult to concentrate on a football game. And for a look at how our soldiers are preparing in Saudi Arabia to watch a football game, let's take you now, Judd Rose, ABC News. You can hear that familiar chant, USA, USA. And for a very special perspective, let's go to Jack Whitaker. Jack?
Well, thank you, Brent. 25 years ago, there was another war in another far-off exotic land. And it was a war going sour at the time as the smell of burning draft cards filled the land. But in Los Angeles at that first Super Bowl, nobody was talking about Vietnam or the troops that were there. All the talk was about how bad the Packers would beat the upstart Kansas City Chiefs in the American League, and if CBS or NBC would win the rating because both networks were carrying the game. Well, we live in a different world now, don't we? And some things are better. Medicine for one, we have Billy Crystal to make us laugh, and people everywhere this week, no matter what their politics, even people in the narrow, spoiled world of professional sports are genuinely and deeply concerned about our people in Arabia. It has been a split-screen week here in Tampa, one eye on the war news, the other on game preparation. And the result of that has been to do away almost completely with the glitzy hype that usually drowns Super Bowls. Ironically, though concentration was hard, there was more focus on the game itself than in any Super Bowl I've ever been to. These two teams, I think, against this background, are going to give us a memorable football game. They have traveled further than any other teams to get to this Super Bowl, and they and us with them have made a long psychological journey, because when they went to training camp in July, Iraq and the United States were allies. Dwayne Thomas, a Dallas Cowboy, was asked at the Super Bowl in New Orleans how it felt to play in this ultimate game. He said, if this is the ultimate game, why do they play it every year? And so now, finally, after 25 years, from Los Angeles and Vietnam to Tampa and the Desert Storm, we all know what Dwayne Thomas knew. The Super Bowl is an important football game, but that's all, a game.
Hertz is America's wheel.
Welcome back to Tampa Stadium as it begins to fill now for Super Bowl 25, with the Buffalo Bills a solid touchdown favorite over the New York Giants, despite the fact that the NFC has won each of the last 6 Super Bowls. Now, in the middle of the field is that turf, which was torn up late last night. Lynn, Swann, and Jack Arute have been watching and talking with the players. And Lynn, will there be any footing problem down there in the middle of the field today?
According to everyone I talked to, there won't be. Darryl Talley checked it out and thought the field was a little soft in the middle, but not a problem. And keep in mind, Marv Levy was the coach in Kansas City, where George Thomas from, and he has the utmost confidence in him. One other note, the only person I saw that was nervous today was Rick Tootin, the punter. Keep in mind, during the playoffs, he only punted 3 times for an average of 40 yards, so his nervousness might come through in his kicks, Brent.
All right, Jack, yesterday at practice, the Giants, though, were not pleased with the turf. What did they experience during the pregame warm-up?
Well, the first thing, Brent, they experienced a surprise when they got here. Most of them didn't even realize that the turf had been replaced. I checked with some of them, specifically Bart Oates, and he said, I'm a little bit concerned about it. I checked with Jeff Hofstadler. He said, I'm very concerned about it. But I'll tell you, Jack, I don't intend to spend a lot of time out there. I asked Matt Farr about it, and he said, we certainly won't try a field goal from that distance.
All right, Jack, thank you. And, of course, we all recall the great Super Bowl 10, that Lynn Swann catch. He was such a ballet performer in that game. But let me tell you, he was not the answer to the trivia question receiver who came out of that game. Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Percy Howard, number 81, caught only 1 pass in his entire career. But he had the good sense to catch it in Super Bowl 10, which made him an instant trivia quiz answer.
It's a sports trivia type question, you might say. And they ask it very frequently. I'm sure that everyone in this area by now, they know what the answer is, but people keep coming up with the question. And I'm driving down the street and I'll hear it on the radio, and I said, I can answer that, you know.
What people don't realize, however, is that when Roger Staubach brought the Cowboys to within 4 points late in the game, Howard very nearly went from being a trivia quiz answer to a bona fide Super Bowl hero.
The Johnsons are changing.
You gave us a try, now hit subscribe. Be sure to YouTube responsibly and hit that like button if you like what you see, because there's plenty of content to come.